Are you?
Very good. So, who are you?
Who am I? Oh my God. I'm Fabio Bettinelli. I'm the founder of a company based in Lausanne. So I'm not going to talk in German today. Maybe a couple of words, but not more than a couple of words. Promise.
We're very good in talking in English, all good.
I memorize most of the stuff I do in German, but not in talking. It's impossible. So we created this company called Eco Cascara. And today I'm going to talk about the Cascara, basically.
Good. What's Cascara?
Oh, what's Cascara? So Cascara, I have a couple of slides. Maybe I should put it up. Ah, no, it's not here. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Here we go. So, what is Cascara? Cascara basically is, and I'll do it in German, Cascara is the Kaffee Kirsche Fruchtfleisch. Und das ist ein Fruchtabfall. That's how far goes my German. So basically, it's, yeah. So Cascara is basically an element that has been an element of the coffee industry. And as we know, in coffee industry, we all love our coffee. But what is coffee? What's behind the coffee? In coffee, basically, what you have this. A coffee bean, for each coffee bean, you have about 3 kilos of Cascara. Why? Because a coffee bean is the nut of a cherry. If you depulp the cherry, you remain with the fruit. We all do here when we do cherry cake or cherry marmalade. You know, when you depulp it, you use the fruit, and then you remove the nut. In the coffee industry, the passion has come into using the nut. Trouble is that there is still the fruit, and that fruit is a sizable issue, basically. And that's why, basically, I have come to come here. I was invited to share what could be a dream, to do something out of this coffee fruit waste. And how big is big? Well, how big is big? It's written here. We're talking about 30 million tons. I mean, it's so big. How can you imagine 30 million tons? Well, it's as big as you could cover the city like Zurich under 1 meter of fruit waste every year. So it's a sizable issue, if you want. But on the other hand, it's an opportunity because that Cascara is something which is very tasty. It tastes a bit like, some people say that it tastes something in between cold coffee, a cold brew coffee, and a cold tea, iced tea. That's something in between. The benefit of all this is that it's a fruit which is very rich in antioxidants. It's rich in potassium, it's rich in fiber, it's rich in vitamin C, in polyphenol. So it's something that we should be able to do something. And that's something that we decided, basically, to try to do. Because if we don't do this, this is what happens in most of the places across the coffee farming. Most of the fruit waste is just a fruit waste. People throw it in the fields. And rotting, because when you depulp it, and most is washed coffee, so when you depulp it, the fruit started to rot. And that creates acidity, acidification of the soil, pollution of the river, which is basically an issue. Little is done. Some people are doing something. So you have a bit of it is used as a compost, as a biomass. Some farmers are trying to use it to create biogas, but it's still very, very small. And the rest, you could ask, why don't we use this to do animal food? But the trouble is that the fiber, this fruit, is so rich in fiber, potassium, and as well caffeine, that it has a limitation to what an animal can actually take. So there is a balance that you can do. So even there, you will never be able to use all of this mass. So this is what basically we have come up with a plan or an idea in 2016. We decided that we will try to do something different. So let's try to invent a world where we actually can use fruit waste and do not downcycling, because fruit waste, you can do biogas. It's called downcycling. You create something, but you don't create a value that goes back to the farmer. What we talk about is trying to do upcycling, which is create a value of the fruit waste. And the value is something that goes back to the farmer. So you buy the coffee bean, and now you buy the fruit waste. For him, suddenly, it's even better than fair trade. Not criticize on fair trade, which is fantastic thing to do, but here, it's a second revenue for him. He sells the coffee bean, and now he sells the fruit waste. And that's the idea that came up in 2016 when we created this company to say, let's try to do something out of this thing. And as well, if I go back in what the Cascara element, I mean, the benefit, as I said, the antioxidant, the richness of the element, but the taste signature is a phenomenal base to create drinks out of it. I mean, you will be able to try them, but it can easily replace iced tea, or it can easily now replace as well soft drink like Coca-Cola. Why? Because the base is right. You have color, you have taste, and you have natural caffeine. Low level when you brew it, but natural caffeine. So you have the right base to create something. And that was the nature of this talk today, to say that could Cascara be a base or be a dream for changing the soft drink business, to get out of finally just this sugar, colorant, aromas, artificial caffeine, which is what soft drink is all about. Could we imagine a world there where we just use fruit waste to do the same thing, but then finally with something sound, and with the revenue goes back to the farmer? So that's the idea in 2016. And how big is big? How big is big? So basically, if you look at the world market of soft drinks, we're talking about 200 billion liters. It's so big, it's enormous, it's unbelievable. Half of it is a cola, Coca-Cola basically, and Pepsi and whatever. So if you could only imagine that all of the Coca-Cola brand and Pepsi Cola brand decided to change the formula and use Cascara Cola instead, yeah, there is a little promotion here. Yeah. Just a little bit, but it's okay. But imagine they would do the same. This only would basically reduce only 25% of the 30 million tons. But that's a beginning. That's a virtual circle. So we are in a society where we try to find, intelligent way of circular economy, sustainability, using resourcing, etc., and helping the farmer to do something. So here, just imagine a world where the cola could be something like this. Half or a quarter of the problem will be gone. And the farmer, revenue and education, etc., will be then something different. So, what can we all do? We know what we did since 2016. We're here to contribute. We are the very proud company that actually made legal Cascara under EU Novel Food. That was us. That was our battle around 2019 and 2021. It lasted almost 2 years of a Homeric battle. We won that one, so now it's legal. Cascara is legal. So it came from a very small startup company in Lausanne, but it's now legal in Europe, which is a big thing. So now let's try to make something out of it. It's not only us. I think it's everybody. That's my dream, at least, where we gave our contribution. Now it's all what we could do, what we all could do. Because, okay, we created our drinks, but everybody can do something out of Cascara. We've seen in a big fair in Nuremberg, somebody from a cosmetic company creating soap, cosmetics out of Cascara. You have many other ways to use Cascara. So we did a little bit. We're a small company. We're based in Lausanne. We're happy to be here. I will not pretend to speak German, but we're happy to be here. And this is what we can do. So now our invitation and our dream is that you all the guy that actually really love coffee, really love specialty coffee, you like quality coffee because you like as well your farmers. You like who you talk to, where you source. So work with these farmers, help them to do something with the bloody Cascara. Right, sorry, I said bloody. It's okay. But do something. That's a passion. Do something with the Cascara. So that's my message today. I was asked not to be too long, not to be boring. I think that was okay.
No, we'll go jump into some questions.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
again a bit maybe about the upcycle or the benefit for a farmer, because you said obviously they just sell coffee,
Yep.
but now it gets more interesting, and
Yep.
that's a huge benefit, I think.
So for the farmers, as I say here, the step 7 gram by 7 gram, because to create a drink like a ready to drink, an iced tea or iced cascara, you'll use for about a small bottle about 7 grams. So the benefit for the farmer that you should every bottle you do or you create or we create or every brewing of cascara you do in a coffee shop, that's a gram that a farmer will sell. What price will he make with this one? As a balancing element, the cascara sold by the farmer tend to be 20 to 30% more expensive than the coffee that he got it out. Why? Because the work is a different work for him. So he has to spend time to get the drying done correctly. And to dry a coffee bean, it's easier than to dry a fruit. Fruit, it's very moist. When you start to dry a fruit, it's very easy to get the fermentation starting or the rotting or the bacteria starting. So the work, it has to be more careful. It takes more time, it takes more care, and it's normal from a farming point of view that the cascara tend to be more expensive on the kilo than the coffee bean from the same farmer. So the benefit for him, if he does it right, is not that he has to invest in an oven or anything like this. It's just drying beds, the same as the coffee, and then it's care. Care of always making sure that you move the cascara regularly, that it doesn't get into fermentation.
Great. So yeah, that seems to be very interesting for him, because obviously he gains way more income with the same size of farm.
Exactly. And the same kind of farmer, for well, if he has as well a team that helps him, does the same thing. And the technique is a similar technique.
Yeah.
The cupping, it's something that you know, it's something that is very interesting. The taste of cascara can be a very massive variation over the year. And that as well, it's a technique that the farmer have to learn. It's something that we've worked a lot with Ennio from the Académie du Café over the years, in trying to teach as well the farmer how to get stability of taste, because as you can imagine, dry fruit, it's less stable than a dry bean, very much less stable. So you could have variation. So that work of discipline and method is a key to get something that could become very big, and has to become, is a taste signature, has to become big.
Of course, yeah, that's a big thing, and obviously, or hopefully, that's a future potential for the farmers.
Yep.
Again, maybe being able to produce coffee, because obviously that's not always for guaranteed.
Yep.
Since, as you mentioned, the income is very low with just coffee. Can any farmer produce cascara?
For our farmers,
No, but I mean, what are the regulations and needs for a farmer to produce cascara?
it's mostly to make sure that he has enough beds to do it right. The criticality is the moment where he depulps it. If he does a wet or you go into the husk for the dry method, and that it's a selection. Which one he will select to then make the cascara. So that's a hand selection. He will choose the best of the initial, the best of the cherries, and then he will do the depulping. And that's the critical aspect, is the speed. The speed where after depulping you have to be very quick in starting the drying process. Very quick.
Yeah, and what about organic?
Organic is a critical aspect, because I don't know if some of you have maybe read some reports recently on tea, right? The non-organic tea have full of pesticide. When you brew your own tea, I would very warmly recommend you to choose organic tea, because you brew the leaf. That's where you have the concentration of the pesticide. In this case, we have always promoted and basically and pushed for having only organic cascara or Demeter cascara, to ensure that then you would not have this issue of hot brewing, something which then could have full of pesticide. That's a critical aspect.
Perfect. So thanks a lot for sharing all those lovely thoughts and ideas, and of course, hopefully the future Coca-Cola replacement, right?
Well, if they adopt this one, we'll be happy because at least we will have left a trace, which is to convert soft drink into something which is healthier. If you can have a soft drink not made of sugar and aroma and etc., but have something which is based on a fruit brewing, then it's all the better.
Of course. Yeah, great. So big round of applause for Fabio Bettinelli
Well,
and
thank you, guys.
the whole presentation of Eco Cascara.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Gut. Also, wir sind da hinten jetzt dann schon bald wieder einen Schritt weiter. Wer es schon wundernimmt, die wunderbaren Trophäen sehen wir dann in Kürze, nämlich ca. 16:00. Dann werden die nämlich etwa verteilt an die verschiedenen neuen Schweizer Meister und Schweizer Meisterinnen in den jeweiligen Disziplinen.